I'm sure that suggests that he's got more ability than a mark of 104. Sarson's risk obviously to fall next time out when up in grade, and maybe the handicapper has just decided to leave him where he is because he don't quite know what that Doncaster form amounts to. But to me, he looks like one who is going to have more ability than that mark, and I think he's a very interesting runner, and I suspect he'll take a little bit of beating. Pretending does look the main danger.
Yeah, I thought that form at Doncaster reached quite well. I was looking through it last night. I think it was the horse that finished 8th, the horse of Nigel Hawkes, went on to win a handicap at Taunton easily.
Yeah, it did. And you look at the level of ability that he showed on the flat Ring of Bearer as well. 82, you would think that he's going to be better than a real low-level performer over hurdles. And I think this is the kind of ground that he wants. I think his first few starts over hurdles, he did run well, including at Weatherby behind Shared, who has been up in grade since. But that was all on more testing ground, and better ground last time out did seem to help him.
Shades of Cork yesterday, Gordy. Torrential rain and wet conditions at least, and then bright sunshine. Looking forward to the Grey Bomber. Ring of Bearer 3-1, 4-1 Pretending. Start in front 6-1, 13-2 in Clip to Point. The Churchill Lad. Bring Back Memories the same, 15-2 into 13-2. 11-1 Planet Legend. Chanchana 7's out to 12, so a marked drifter there. 14-1 Freddie Robinson and Dweefkin. 16-1 now, Freddie Robinson. Highland Frolic 25-1. Apologise 40-1. Vintage Valley 66-1. And Silver Vision rounds off the 13-strong field, now 100-1, having opened at 66s. They're down at the start. It's back to the guys on track.
Yeah, I keep coming back, Chris, to Ring of Bearer. Changed hands at Newmarket August sales last year for 55,000 guineas. Formerly trained by Richard Hughes.
Yeah, now with Tim Easterby, and does look on a good mark for this first go in handicaps over hurdles. Saved back for a valuable prize as well, 15.5 grand to the winner this afternoon. I thought that he might have gone up the weights for that run last time out, but the handicapper has left him alone. It looks as though Jamie Hampton is going to have him handy enough around the inside, so he could be in a decent enough position. Pretending, I think, he's probably also on a good mark and rates the biggest danger. Rebecca Menzies pair both have a little bit of potential still as well. There's a few of them that might be have a little bit in hand, but I think Ring of Bearer could have quite a lot in hand.
Jimmy Fife, the owner's got 2 in this race. He's got Vintage Valley, and he's also Richard got Bring Memories, who I think is going to be, they're trying to lead him in.
The horse in the white cheek pieces, and maybe his same owner's just being a bit of a good Samaritan to him there, just to keep him on the straight and narrow. Flags raised here. So coming forward for this Go North final, the Grey Bomber final of the Juvenile Series. And a handicap over 2 mile, 1.5 furlongs. They leave the starting area and they all jump away okay. So amongst the first to show, Planet Legend, who races on the inside. Dufkin is also in a handy position in company with Pretending as they take the first. Silver Vision was a little slow over it. Jimmy Five pair are both racing prominently. The white cheek pieces belongs to Bring Back Memories. The grey horse is Vintage Valley. They're being followed through by Chinchana, who races in 6th in the diamond colours, just on the outside of the yellow jacket of Ring of Bearer as they make the turn. Apologise races in midfield on the inside of the red colours of Highland Frolic, and wider out his start in front. Freddie Robinson has the diamond colours with the red cap and is currently towards the back with the Churchill Lad. And last of all is Silver Vision. On the outside, the grey Vintage Valley ran wide there, and Brian Hughes has glanced down a couple of times. He did so right from the word go. I wonder if just the saddle might not be in exactly the right place, but he's continuing on the outside of the field and has taken that, just encouraging the horse along. So racing down the home straight for the first time, Planet Legend has a narrow lead with the grey Pretending in the centre, Dufkin between the pair in the noseband, and then Bring Back Memories towards the outside. Ring of Bearer just tracks them, company with Chinchana as they all step over that flight of hurdles. Start in front in red and white. Red with the blue stars is Highland Frolic, and towards the inside, the nose-banded Apologise. Freddie Robinson from the Churchill Lad. Towards the outside of the field is Vintage Valley. And last of all is Silver Vision as they take that flight of hurdles. The leader, Planet Legend, was a little bit awkward at it, but still emerges with the advantage. So out in the lead, Planet Legend has the advantage of a length. Dufkin in the noseband and the grey Pretending are the closest challengers. Bring Back Memories and Chinchana are 4th and 5th as they turn away, with Ring of Bearer next. They're being followed through by Highland Frolic. Start in front's just being ridden along with Freddie Robinson and the Churchill Way. And at the back of the pack, Apologise, Silver Vision, and notably Vintage Valley, who's lost ground steadily from the word go, is in last place and about a dozen lengths off the leader as they turn into the back. That leader remains Planet Legend, Pretending and Dufkin, with Chinchana racing in fourth place in the black and white colours. Bring Back Memories comes next as they prepare to take the first in the back straight from Highland Frolic. Ring of Bearer still travels on the inside with the Churchill Way making some ground. A reminder there for Apologise, who's dropped to the back in company with Vintage Valley, and both of those two are struggling as they race on towards the next flight of hurdles. Planet Legend, Dufkin and Pretending over in the lead from Chinchana, who still travels comfortably in fourth place. At the back, Vintage Valley virtually stopped to a walk there and I think is about to be pulled up. So racing towards the last on the far side, 4 from the finish. Dufkin in the centre reached for it with Pretending and Planet Legend. Highland Frolic has made ground on the outside of Chinchana. Ring of Bear is still there on the inside in the yellow colours, just ahead of the Churchill Lad. Bring Back Memories has lost ground. Start in front's been under pressure for a while. Freddie Robinson is making a little bit of ground. Red Cap on the inside into about 8th or 9th place. And amongst the others towards the back includes Silver Vision. So on this final turn back towards home, Dufkin on the outside of Planet Legend. In third place is Pretending. Ring of Bearer in the yellow jackets, right on the heels of the leaders. Chinchana's in that leading group as well with the white face and the noseband. The Churchill Lad has moved through into 6th place, and they're just away from Highland Frolic and Freddie Robinson with a gap back to Bring Back Memories. First in the home straights, 3 from the finish. Dufkin rises alongside Planet Legend. Ring of Bearer is now pulled out. Chinchana and also Freddie Robinson in the red cap making progress just behind the leaders as they race down towards the second last. Chinchana's white face on the outside of Dufkin, Planet Legend towards the inner as they take the second last. Dufkin still narrowly in front from Chinchana. Ring of Bearer towards the inside. Then behind these in fourth place, Freddie Robinson and the Churchill Lad down towards the last. Chinchana's taken over. Patrick Wadge has a couple of lengths in hand here from in second place Dufkin. This is the final flight. Chinchana is over in the lead from Dufkin. Then back in third place, Freddie Robinson and Ring of Bearer. They enter the final 150 yards and Chinchana is beginning to move right away. She extends 5 lengths clear from Dufkin. Freddie Robinson's back in third place, but Chinchana is going to win the Grey Bomber Juvenile Hurdle Final. And in second place, we had Dufkin. Third for Freddie Robinson. Great race for Brian Ellison with the first and third, and they were clear of the remainder.
Yeah, Chinchana then, the filly carrying the colours of Brian Ellison's own racing club, has won under the excellent Patrick Wadge. She has in turn beaten Dufkin, who's run a massive race for Nick Alexander, with Freddie Robinson, a stable companion of the winner, back in third place. Giving the Haydock Park Victor Ledorum hurdle a bit of a boost, Chinchana.
Yeah, and define a mark for 117. I think that's a decent performance. Patrick Wadge continuing to look very good value for his claim. Easy to back was Chinchana, but it hasn't stopped her going in and winning quite well. Travelled into it kindly, and on the back of a good run on the flats behind an improver at Wolverhampton last time out, she's got back to winning ways fairly nicely. Freddie Robinson for the same yard finishes in third. Really good run from him, I think. That is a step forward on his recent form, I think, over hurdles, and as was said in commentary, a very good race for Brian Ellison,
who picked up this filly, believe it or not, as a yearling for 800 quid.
Yeah, a daughter of Cityscape, and she obviously stays well, and she's been very consistent over hurdles this year. The handicapper sort of came into it with plenty of evidence, but she's shown improved form today under this type of a test. I think they'll be happy with Dufkin, who has finished in second, switching into handicap company today. That suggests probably on a fair enough mark. I thought Ring of Bearer would run better than he has, but I didn't think he was going as well as I would have liked from quite some way out, and then he's not seen his race out that stoutly late.
I think, I mean, even Tim Easterwood would admit that's a backward step today, isn't it?
I think so. I don't think that's as good a run as Doncaster last time.
Yeah, despite the fact that Doncaster form looked fairly solid, and I think
These are on from Rhodia and Aristobulus, both needing to find more. So Arcoob coming through. They've gone past Marine Boy. Arcoob and on the near side, Ace Rothstein at the second last. They jump and land together. Marine Boy back in third, and then Aristobulus, Ace Rothstein and Arcoob. Here's the final flight. Again, they jump and land together. On the far side, Bryony Frost and Arcoob. The near side, Tabitha Worsley and Ace Rothstein. Arcoob and Ace Rothstein as they race close to the finish, and Arcoob just does the best. Arcoob denies Ace Rothstein.
Into second on the near side. Between them is Good Impression. Flattening that flight of hurdles was Ada Pinch, who took it in fourth as they now race on towards the final flight. And Totterdown still has the lead. Totterdown is over the final flight. The lead is nearly 3 lengths to Dr. TJ Eckelberg in second. Good Impression is in third, and they're racing now with another half furlong to go. And Totterdown still leads the way, and that lead is still over 2 lengths and racing up towards a line. Been off the track for 21 months. Great training performance here by Richard Phillips. Finn Lambert did the steering.
Orkan Risque jumped it better than Shall We Have One More, who made a mistake in
on the lifts, and well, his form's worked out well. He was behind Ikkyo, wasn't he, who won the Imperial Cup latest, and that form works out nicely, so he's got to be up there. But I just thought Russian Ruler came into that race last time like he was going to run a big race, so as long as that fall hasn't knocked too much confidence out of him.
Yeah, he's a tricky. I find this a difficult puzzle to solve, really. I've got a lot of time for Dr. TJ Eckelberg. I think he will be winning more handicap hurdles. It might be today, but the ground's got quite extreme now with all the rain that we've had. It's kept coming on and off. It's just paused momentarily, but it is hard work for them, and he might just find it a little bit too testing for him. But I do think the track will suit Dr. TJ Eckelberg, and he shaped well when we last saw him at Sandown, just tying up late on. Russian Ruler is a horse definitely with the ability to win off 120, but I'm kind of neither. I can't be strongly with him or against him in a way, because I think he's better than his handicap mark, but so often he's sort of promised more than he's delivered in his career. He's had wind operations, he's on the back of a fall. There's lots of question marks in my mind about him, for all that I could see him winning the race potentially. Arcoob, I do think it'll have got too soft for him. Might be wrong, but I think he's a horse that might have some stamina limitations under these conditions. Mott Hill looked well in the paddock. He's been nibbled at. Mott Poncho will, I think, be suited by the softer ground conditions than last time out. He does have a slightly awkward head carriage, but I think the ground was too quick for him last time anyway. So, look, it's a race full of imponderables for me. I find it pretty difficult. I mean, Dr. TJ's drifted out to a price where be on the cusp of temptation of backing him at 3-1, because I do think he's a well handicapped horse, and the stable are absolutely flying along at the minute. I think they've had 10 winners since Cheltenham finished last week. They've had loads of winners. So Totterdown, he'll go from the front. He's actually beaten Dr. TJ Eckelberg already this season. He beat him at Leicester, and he will love the ground conditions, Totterdown, but he's a veteran now, and he's tended to produce in recent years, his best performances have come on the back of absences rather than when he's been turned out relatively quickly as he is today. But he's a big price, isn't he, for a horse that's beaten Dr. TJ Eckelberg already this season? Yeah, what a training performance it was when he won at Leicester in November. But look, he's 12-year-old now, and life is just a little bit tough for him. Interesting, a little bit nibbles, I think, for Poncho. The viewers are listening to you, Martin. If you can forgive that last run, if you can put it down to the ground, then he definitely looked well on himself. Looking at him in the paddock. He did. He'll be happier on this ground anyway. Well, let's see how it pans out. Let's go up to Mark with commentary.
So they're walking in. Totterdown, a little bit keen coming in on the near side. Confirmed front runner in this 8-strong field. And they're off. This is the Bet Victor Gamble Responsibly handicap hurdle over the extended 2 miles. Totterdown has taken the early lead as they go towards the first of the 8 flights, and Totterdown establishes a clear advantage. He goes on by 5 lengths. Over in second is Russian Ruler, who in turn is racing 3 lengths in advance of Dr. TJ Eckelberg, and then Arcoob on his outside. Further 2.5 lengths away to Mott Hill, Mott Hill with Poncho towards the inner. Last one is Thibaut, and the back marker is Denable. And Denable is a good 15 lengths off the leader, who's Totterdown as they go into the turn. Totterdown and Tom Bellamy out clear as they go towards the back straight. Clear of Russian Ruler, who is in second position. Dr. T.J. Eckelberg in third. A length away, Arcube is racing in fourth, followed by Mott Hill on the outside of Poncho. Then Thibaut and Denable, the back marker. But it is a uncontested lead that Totterdown has been handed as he goes towards flight number 2. First one of the 4 taken in the back straight. Totterdown jumped that flight beautifully. Russian Ruler over in second. Arcube was in third. Then Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. Further 3 lengths to Poncho on the inside of Mott Hill. Thibaut still at the back of the field with Denable over the second flight in the back straight, the third in the contest. And down there is Poncho and very badly hampered Denable. Poncho the faller at flight 3, hampered Denable, who is last. So they go midway down the back straight and on now towards the 4th, and the leader is Totterdown. Totterdown out in front, still clear of in second Russian Ruler as they cross over this next flight. Over in third place will be on the inside Dr. T.J. Eckelberg on the inside of Arcube, and then Mott Hill followed by Thibaut and Denable the back marker. Going over the final flight taken in the back, and Totterdown still has the lead as they now go towards the far turn. It's Totterdown and Tom Bellamy clear as they've been right from the start. So on the inside, Dr. T.J. Eckelberg, and then Russian Ruler, who goes into the turn in third. 3 lengths away, Arcube is in fourth. Then Thibaut is beginning to pick up around the outside of Mott Hill. And as they make the run down the side of the course, Denable is the back marker. So a long run now before they encounter the third last flight. And the leader is Totterdown. Totterdown by about 3 lengths to Dr. T.J. Eckelberg in second. Russian Ruler is in third, Arcube in fourth. Thibaut goes into the turn in fifth. Mott Hill on the inside is in sixth. And now tailing off at the back of the field is Denable. Inside the final half mile, down towards a third from home, Tom Bellamy and Totterdown still have the lead over Dr. T.J. Eckelberg and Aidan Coleman, who've got to within 2 lengths over in second. 3 lengths back to Russian Ruler, Nico de Boinville in third, then Arcube and Mott Hill, as they now come on towards the final 3 furlongs and the final 2 flights of hurdles. Ridden Totterdown still has the lead, but he may be there on sufferance. Dr. T.J. Eckelberg is travelling smoothly on his outside and will lead as they go over the second last. Dr. T.J. Eckelberg cruised into the lead over Totterdown and then Russian Ruler. Arcube tries to rally, and then Mott Hill as they now race on towards the final 4.5, the final flight. Dr. T.J. Eckelberg, having got the lead, isn't doing a great deal. He's allowing Totterdown to come back at him. Also, Arcube is rallying. Russian Ruler is there. Mott Hill is staying on inside the final furlong. Dr. T.J. Eckelberg tackled now by Russian Ruler over on the far side, and Russian Ruler goes to the lead now in the hands of Nico de Boinville as they race inside the final 100 yards. It is Russian Ruler. Doubles here for Nicky Henderson and Nico de Boinville. Russian Ruler wins. Arcube rallied for second, then Dr. T.J. Eckelberg, Mott Hill and Totterdown.
Well, Russian Ruler makes up for that fall last time out here at Newbury and wins quite strikingly in the end from Arcube and Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. But our thoughts with Jamie Moore, who suffered a horrendous fall on Poncho, and we'll give you updates as we get them. But he was flat out on his back, and he is being attended to, but he is still down. So as we get some updates, we will let you know. But Russian Ruler, I was wondering whether he was going to handle the conditions here today, Martin, and looking at Nico's body language, he was riding him as if he knew he was going to stay anyway, and he found plenty.
Yeah, that's definitely the most important aspect. Thoughts with Jamie Moore down there in the back straight. Hopefully all is okay and we get some good news a little bit later on. Russian Ruler at the business end of the race. Cute ride, wasn't it, from de Boinville? Now, this is a horse that's failed to finish off in several races previously. In those races, frequently, he has been ridden quite aggressively. And today, Nico didn't want to commit him. He didn't commit him too early. He didn't ask him for anything, really. When Dr. TJ Eckelberg engaged with Totterdown, he was happy to just sit and wait that little bit longer. And I think that difference in tactics and not asking too much of Russian Ruler too early in the race has ultimately
The follow at BrezBet on Twitter, Novices Handicap Chase. Number 2 is Chickenstown King, Oliver Signey trains for the trainer, known as Barrett and Spears, and the white with those dark blue and light blue hoops on the sleeves and cap. Gillen Leonard on board, number 2, Chickenstown King. Also he's wearing the tongue strap. Followed out by number 10, Voice of Hope for Max Young. Friend of Mr. Broadhurst in dark green yellow chevrons, Tabitha Worsley. Then the grey number 8, a School for Scandal for Joe Tickle. For Paul Anthony Mann, the black and yellow silks at James Best rides. Number 9 is Here Comes Bob. For Peter Pritchard, thrown at Mr. Arstow and Mark Miller. Orange and light green diamonds. Tongue strap and cheek pieces combination first time. Liam Harrison on board. 11 is Old Page for Jess Sadiq in the trainers silks and dark green and yellow diamonds, Ben Post. 3 is Furcash for Joe Tissar for Swallowfield Racing. Yellow with a red stripe and red sleeves for Harry Kimber on board the cheek piece at number 3, Furcash. Paseo is number 1 for Venetia Williams for My Racing Manager Friends, and the black with a red star. Those red and white striped sleeves. Black cap with a red star and the mount of Shane Quinlan. Number 4 is Emerald for Evan Williams for RJW Corrigan Racing. White with the orange sash, now white sleeves. Quarter cap, Adam Wedge on board, number 4 on the card, Emerald. Number 6 at the moment, just in the horse walk. So Kestrel Valley making her way down. Those green and yellow silks there for Sam Twiston Davis, Rona, Mrs. Jan Johnson. All the other runners are down at the post. Number 12, Son of Oz, also to mention. Last one to call the post, already down with the others. The red and green Diablo. Sean Houlihan on board with the white cap there for Owners 3's company. First start for Adrian Winsell. Castro Valley's the favourite at 6-5, 8-1 for Voice of Hope, 9-1 Paseo, 10-1 then for Jigginstown King and Furcash and Gibberwell. MRL's at 12-1. Money behind Here Comes Bob, 18-1 into 12-1 now. 25-1 for School for Scandal. Old Page at 28-1 and Son of Oz at 66-1. Flags are raised. And they're off. Racing away. The journey 3 miles and a furlong plus an additional 116 yards here at the rail movements today for the follow at Bresbet on Twitter. Novices handicap steeplechase. All safely got to the other side of fence at number 1. So coming up by us, it's Kestrel Valley. He won at Ludlow last time. Shows the way from the yellow and red of Furcash racing in second. Green and yellow diamonds, that's Old Page in third. Then the grey School for Scandal. Next is Jigginstown King, that white jacket, two-tone blue hoop sleeves and cap. On that one's inside is Voice of Hope, green with the yellow chevrons. Paseo is next as they take the plain fence just away from the enclosures. They're all safely over there. Perhaps a slightly slow jump by Gibberwell back through the field, together with Son of Oz and Emerald just about last of all. White sleeves now for Adam Wedge on board Emerald. So making their way towards the open ditch now. And it's Kestrel Valley who shows out in front. So Furcash in second, out over the ditch now. Quite a bad blunder there by Son of Oz. Jumps it quite slowly. He was rousted along on the landing side by Sean Houlihan. Racing on towards the fourth. Kestrel Valley from Furcash jumping this next plain obstacle. And once again, not entirely convincing from Son of Oz, who remains last of all. So they turn into the far side on the get towards jump number 5. It's Kestrel Valley. She continues to show the way by half a length. Over Furcash in second, yellow and red there for Harry Kimber. Approaching this plain fence. Then Old Page, who lands in third, ahead of School for Scandal and Jane's Best. And then to the inside is Voice of Hope. Paseo, here comes Bob, the next two, out over this next plain one. Then Jigginstown King, followed by Emerald, Paseo and Son of Oz, and Gibberwell has now dropped back to be ridden along last of all under Max Kendrick. Just those two fences over on the back straight. No open ditch on this part of the track here this afternoon at Hereford. And it's Kestrel Valley who continues to lead the way. On the way towards fence number 7, it's Kestrel Valley. From Furcash, and Old Page in third place. With Voice of Hope and Tabitha Worsley in fourth. And School for Scandal in fifth. Here comes Bob, who has nibbled out at big odds. It's next, those green and orange, the cheek pieces from Jigginstown King. Paseo pretty deep on the track at this point. Then Emerald, Son of Oz and Gibberwell. Here comes Bob, was a little bit guessy there, quite low at that fence. Got away with the error. Gibberwell not travelling at all well. Is under pressure and last off the field as they go towards jump number 8. Kestrel Valley from Furcash and Old Page, the leading trio, out over this plain fence. And School for Scandal. To the inside of School for Scandal is Voice of Hope. Ridden along his Here Comes Bob. Then Jigginstown King and Emerald, Paseo and Son of Oz. And Gibberwell a further 4 or 5 lengths behind the second to last horse. Back towards home with still over a lap to go here in this extended journey of 3 miles plus. Now it's over this next plain fence. All safely over once again. That was jump number 9. Kestrel Valley, Furcash and Old Page are still the principal trio. They've developed now a clear cushion on the others, about 6 to 7 lengths at least. To Voice of Hope in fourth. Then School for Scandal, Here Comes Bob and Jigginstown King from Emerald, Paseo. They've driven along Son of Oz. And the under pressure Gibberwell not really picking up his ideas at the moment. On to this next plain fence. That was number 10. All over there okay. Gibberwell again, not the greatest leap at the back. So Kestrel Valley continues to tow the field along by about a length and a half, maybe a bit more now, to Furcash in second. And then back in third came Old Page, followed by Voice of Hope and Jigginstown King. From Emerald, School for Scandal has lost its position. Next is Here Comes Bob and then Son of Oz and Paseo. Out over that one, School for Scandal made a mistake, pulled up before that fence at the back of the field was Gibberwell, who hadn't been travelling overly well for a while. Next plain one. Kestrel Valley over in front there. Voice of Hope made quite a bad mistake when in fourth place at the time. About to be overtaken for that spot now by the improving Jigginstown King. So getting quite well spaced out as they run into the back straight for the final time. And on they go towards fences numbers 13 and 14 in the contest. And it's Kestrel Valley. And she's got the Matic behind. Here Comes Bob has been pulled up before fence 13. Son of Oz has also been pulled up. And also pulling up at the back of the field is School for Scandal. Now towards fence number 14, Kestrel Valley from Furcash over in second. Now the leader's gone further clear, make it 5 lengths the buffer. Kestrel Valley leading from Furcash, Jigginstown King, then Voice of Hope and Old Page, followed by Emerald. Paseo is the last one who continues next as they begin to head towards the end of the back straight for the final time. And the one they've got to get to is Kestrel Valley, who's enjoyed herself out in front throughout the journey, looking to follow up that Ludlow success from 3 weeks ago. Leading on the run towards 3 out, and the follow at Bresbet on Twitter. Novices handicap steeplechase. None going better than the leader. That's Kestrel Valley, who's cleared by the best part of 8 to 10 lengths to Furcash in second. Then Jigginstown King back in third, who in turn that is well clear from Voice of Hope. Then Emerald and Old Page. Furcash made a mistake there at 3 out. Still going is Old Page. Passeau just coming to the fence now, gets over, but absolutely miles behind the clear leader, who will surely only have to jump the final 2 fences to score. 20 lengths at least the lead for Kestrel Valley, who skips over 2 out. Very much in hand under Sam Twiston Davis. Furcash lands in second. Bad blunder from Jigginstown King over that one in third. That one in turn then clear from Voice of Hope and Emerald and Old Page and Paseo. But Kestrel Valley's in a league of her own here. She's 30 lengths clear, only having to jump the last to win. Here she comes now to it. And she's over safely. Kestrel Valley, absolutely in fine form, has run them silly from the front. 2 out of 2 since joining the Kerry Lee team. Furcash has landed over that final fence in second. Voice of Hope and Jigginstown King are battling out there for third, but Kestrel Valley wins ease down. Very, very easy win from the front from Kestrel Valley under Sam Twiston Davis. Furcash was home in second, tight there for third. Voice of Hope and Jigginstown King fought out that. Then came Old Page, Paseo and Emerald.
This time last week, he was picking up the spare ride on Conflated, who went on to win to finish third in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly this game, your fortunes change, isn't it? Hopefully Sammy's all right. Sounds like he's ultimately going to be okay, but an injury that's going to keep him out for a little bit. We'll hear more, I'm sure, in the coming days. As far as crossing the bar is concerned, well, I suppose it's a bit of a blow to his chance that Sam isn't aboard, because he got a tune out of him when winning that race last time out, and having got to know him, you would have fancied him to be able to build on that a little bit. I thought he looked extremely well in the paddock, did crossing the bar. He was always in a good spot, and he just showed a bit of pace at the end of the race that day. Often around Musselburgh it would be a similar set of attributes that you need to go on and win a race, but this isn't your average Musselburgh race with a field quite so big as this, and it's probably going to be a bit more of a test and a more evenly run affair, you would think.
Just a quick heads up as well on the winners of the Musselburgh Seasonal Awards for the Jumps campaign, which finishes here today. Donald McCain got the Leading Trainer Award. Brian Hughes has just been presented for the Leading Jockey Award. Jimmy Fife for the Owner, and Lucinda Russell, stable staff, got the award for the most turnout prizes. So always beautifully turned out horses. Lucinda Russell's, they won the stable award. Faithful Flyer, we mentioned in the paddock as well. Speaking of Brian Hughes, this is a horse that we know has got course and distance winning form, and he's had a couple of wins this season.
Yeah, and as I said last time out at Sedgefield, he was back down in trip to an improving horse in Tell Him Listen, who's won again since. Before that, he was third in that race that Last of the Cosmics won. His jumping was just a little bit scrappy that day, and caught him out. I would expect him to get back on track or maintain that form from Sedgefield last time out, and if he does, off the same mark, he's probably in with a shout, because he was beaten by one going the right way last time.
I'm going Last of the Cosmics against the field. Do you want to stab?
It's not, again, a race that I've had a bet in, but I'd go lock down Luke as the one to beat.
I thought you sounded as if you were leaning that way. Anyway, let's go back up to Richard. There's one horse just having a last-minute check. Richard, unbelievable. West sun out. I think spring has sprung here at Musselburgh.
Ribeye is the one that's having the Girth adjusted. It's a pretty chill breeze though still, and forecast to get a bit chillier between now and the next couple of days. So nice to see some sunshine, and hopefully we will be arriving at spring before too long. This is the most open, I think, of all the finals, named after your fated novice hurdler Brindisi Breeze being called forward. Often racing for the Racing TV Go North Brindisi Breeze Hurdle Series final. Towards the first is Red Missile in the primrose and rose colours, one of the first to show in company with Ribeye. Starlight is also racing front rank as they take flight number 1. They are all over it. Spotted Jacket of Curly Finger in the pale blue, and stable companion You Some Boy are also racing handily. Faithful Flyer tracks the leaders, blue with the yellow cross belts, as they race on towards the next with Bridge Road and Lockdown Luke the next to rise. Just ahead of Cadex. Shoeshine Boys towards the outside, so is Imperial Sashins. Fort Canyon's the one that's taken a little while to warm up, was just briefly pushed along at the back of the pack, is 3 lengths off the end, just tracking last of the Cosmics. And crossing the bar, now the mount of Darryl Jacob is also held up towards the rear with the grey Imperial Sashins. So turning away, and it's Curly Finger who's moved through to lead. Curly Finger has the advantage from Ribeye, who's now a clear second. You Some Boy on the outside, in company as well with Red Missile. Faithful Flyer towards the inside with Starlight, then Bridge Road and Shoeshine Boy around the outside. Cadex comes next on the outside of Lockdown Luke, with Imperial Sashins circling the field with Crossing the Bar as they reach the third flight of hurdles. And the back marker over it was Fort Canyon. So still a long way to go here. The running being cut out by Curly Finger and Nathan Mosscrop. From in second place, Ribeye, You Some Boy, and towards the inside, Red Missile of the first quartet, as they rise at the next flood of hurdles. Shoeshine Boys made ground right up on the outside in the pink jacket. Starlight and Faithful Flyer track the leaders with Bridge Road and Imperial Sashins. Then Lockdown Luke with Cadex as they leave the ground again, crossing the bars towards the back last of the Cosmics, and still last of all is Fort Canyon. So that's the jumping done in the back straight on this circuit. They're being led by Curly Finger from in second place at Ribeye. Behind these in third, You Some Boy in the maroon jacket. Faithful Flyers made some ground down the back straight on the inside running rail with Starlight. Starlight's on the inside of stable companion Red Missile, and widest of all is Shoeshine Boy. Bridge Road tracks them, racing on the outside of Lockdown Luke and the grey Imperial Sashins, as Red Missile is just losing places amongst horses, still towards the back, crossing the bar at this stage. Fort Canyon remains the back marker. So out in the lead, it is still Curly Finger, who has this narrow lead from Ribeye and You Some Boy as they reach the next flight of hurdles, which is number 6. Between them, they managed to demolish it, but there appeared to be an obvious error. Faithful Flyer towards the inside with Starlight and You Some Boy tracking the pair of leaders, who still remain Curly Finger and Ribeye. So Curly Finger leads them over the next. Ribeye in second. Third place for Faithful Flyer on the inside of Starlight and You Some Boy. Shoeshine Boy races in 6th place. Imperial Sashins on the outside of Red Missile, who continues to drift back through the field. Bridge Road's always been in mid-division with Lockdown Luke. Last of the Cosmics continues towards the back of the field with Cadex crossing the bar and Fort Canyon. So racing past halfway now in this Racing TV Go North Brindisi Breeze Hurdle Series final. And out in the lead by 2 lengths is Curly Finger. Ribeye is in second place, and in turn 2 lengths clear of You Some Boy in third. Faithful Flyer blue and yellow ahead of Starlight in the purple and green. Shoeshine Boy in the pink jacket, then up the inside Lockdown Luke in the single hoop. Bridge Road is next, white with the red sash. Imperial Sashins comes next. Red Missile continues to lose places. He's now last of the Cosmics, about 5 from the back, in company with Cadex, Fort Canyon, and Crossing the Bar. Into the back straight for the final time. Curly Finger by 2 lengths from Ribeye. Similar break then to You Some Boy, and another break of 2 lengths to Faithful Flyer, as the leaders just try and press on slightly. Over in 5th is Starlight. A mistake by Cadex forced his rider, Danny McMenamin, right to the buckle end. He regathers the reins and didn't lose too much ground. Continuing on towards the middle one down the back. Curly Finger from Ribeye. You Some Boy towing up the main group, the likes of Starlight. Faithful Flyer still there on the inside. Then behind these, Lockdown Luke, who's made some ground. Shoeshine Boy is in mid-division. Then behind these, pushed along now towards the inside is Fort Canyon. Last of the Cosmics has made a place or two. Red Missile was pulled up before taking the last on the far side, where Imperial Sashins has lost touch with the others. So out in the lead, it is still Curly Finger. Ribeye's travelled strongly and now moves out to press the leader. And the rider, Tommy Dowson, has a look behind, sees Faithful Flyers make good ground. You Some Boy, Lockdown Luke amongst horses is another who's been on the move. They're 3 lengths clear from last of the Cosmic, Starlight under pressure. Likewise, Bridge Road, right from the back, crossing the bar in the yellow colours, is passing a few, but still has plenty to get by, as Curly Finger and Ribeye lead the turn into the straight. Faithful Flyer and Lockdown Luke are the next 2. You Some Boy, last of the Cosmics, and Starlight is still out in front. Curly Finger towards the third last. In second place, Ribeye. Faithful Flyer on the inside with every chance. Then behind these, Lockdown Luke crossing the bar continues to stay on with Bridge Road, last of the Cosmics. And then behind these, Starlight heading towards 2 from the finish. Curly Finger hanging on Dowley. Faithful Flyer got a gap up the inside in blue and yellow. Then towards the outside, Ribeye as they head down towards the last. And Faithful Flyer is now produced by Brian Hughes between Curly Finger, then Ribeye. At the outside, last of the Cosmic stays on, and Lockdown Luke down towards the final flight of hurdles. Faithful Flyer on the outside of Curly Finger. They rise with a neck between them, setting off up the running. Faithful Flyer's been produced at the right time, but Curly Finger is a tough nut to crack on the inside, and he's digging in really tenaciously. Curly Finger fighting back, but Faithful Flyer has regained a narrow lead. Curly Finger will not be denied, and Curly Finger wins for Rebecca Menzies' Nathan Mosscrop. Saw off Faithful Flyer, Ribeye third, last of the Cosmic, Starlight, then Lockdown Luke and Bridge Road.
Rebecca Menzies is behind us, and she's all smiles after Curly Finger, who'd made a lot of the running, and then it got headed by Faithful Flyer, has battled back, and Faithful Flyer in second. Ribeye, who'd raced close up throughout third, and last of the Cosmics, not disgraced in fourth place, but Nathan Mosscrop and Rebecca Menzies strike with Curly Finger.
Yeah, switch up in town.